Hello everyone, last week we looked at some popular music and asked ourselves whether it is possible that everybody was really kung fu fighting and people thought it's a joke, but no, these are serious lectures, so please refrain from joking in the comments because this is serious analytic philosophy what we are doing here. And today we're gonna talk about the phenomenology of being a plastic bag, which is of course a reference to Katy Perry's song from 2010 where she's making a sort of inquiry where she asks us whether we ever feel like a plastic bag, which is an interesting question. When she posted it, I was like, well, do I? Like, how do I know whether I feel like a plastic bag? Could I ever reach a understanding of the world that would enable me to put myself into the shoes of a plastic bag? There are two layers that we can associate with the existence of a plastic bag. One is external, for example, you're drifting through the wind, helpless, disposable, and so on. But the other layer is internal, and the first question that we have to ask ourselves is what exactly is Mrs. Perry referring to when she's asking us whether we feel like a plastic bag? Does she simply mean the external conditions of being a plastic bag, or is she in fact asking us to look inside of ourselves and try to imagine a subjective world of a plastic bag? Now that's a very difficult problem because we know that subjective concepts are ultimately unattainable. Like Thomas Nagel asks in his paper, what is it like to be a bat? That's the title of the paper. We know that bats use echolocation to navigate and perceive objects. And with that we can imagine the world of a bat being radically different from us humans, the human world where we navigate ourselves with the help of visual stimuli and so on. And Nagel argues that we can never really understand what it's like to inhabit a bat's world because the brains of a bat are wired radically differently from human brains. The problem, of course, goes much deeper. Let's look at a thought experiment devised by Frank Johnson in the 80s. It's called Mary's Room. Mary, he says, is a neurophysiologist of vision and acquired all the physical information about colors. She knows everything there is to know about colors, their physical basis, how they are translated in our eyes and brains, all the factual knowledge one can gather about the phenomena of a color on a theoretical basis. But Mary is living in a laboratory where everything is just black and white. She has never seen colors in her life, even though she knows everything there is to know theoretically about colors. So one day somebody gives her a red rose into the laboratory and she has seen the red color for the first time in her life. So the question is, did she learn anything when she saw that rose? Remember, she knows everything there is to know about colors. But the moment she first saw a color in her life, did she learn anything? And that's a difference that the paper proposes between factual knowledge and experience or practical knowledge. Even though we would know everything there is to know about bats and their physiology, about their perceptive organs and so on, we would never truly be able to get knowledge out of that would be the equivalent of actually being a bat and experiencing the world in the way a bat experiences it. But maybe we should try, and we can try that with the help of a field called biosemiotics, which is the study of the pre-linguistic meaning making in the biological realm, which basically means if we study animals and the way in which they interpret their environments, we can kind of try to reconstruct their world. This is something that the 20th century biologist Jakob von Uexküll tried when he reconstructed various animal worlds through the study of how they behave in the world and what aspects of the world are meaningful to them. By the way, when I was preparing this presentation, my little cousin came in and she saw that I'm making a presentation on what is it like to be a plastic bag, and she proposed that to be a plastic bag must be very sad. First of all, you feel that nobody likes you, all the humans look down upon you because you are a hindrance to this world, and that makes you sad. Well, I thought about this answer for a minute, and it didn't take me long to realize just how limited this view is and how it betrays a radical misunderstanding about how organisms work in this world. Because can a plastic bag feel sadness, first of all? Well, I mean, what is sadness? In humans, we can trace that to hormones and a whole neural network that even make it possible for us to feel sadness. But even though, even if we grant her that point and we say that yes, a plastic bag can feel sadness, does that mean that it can perceive other people, like people not liking that? Can she perceive the hatred of the people? Well, no. The only thing that enables us to perceive the emotions of other people are something called mirror neurons. A whole evolutionary process had to take place in order for us to achieve that. Other mammals have that as well, like dogs can respond to your emotions, and that's because they do have mirror neurons. But we cannot find any mirror neurons in plastic bags. Therefore, I would not say that plastic bags can perceive the emotions of people. Looking at the perceptive organs of a plastic bag, we can ask ourselves, does a plastic bag really perceive anything? And here we see a reconstruction of a plastic bag's world, and I hypothesize that no, the world for the plastic bag is just nothing, not even darkness. I cannot even represent how nothing the world of a plastic bag is. Therefore, I must contend that Mrs. Perry's inquiry is quite inconsistent, because she's asking us about something that we are unable to answer even conceptually. I do not know whether I feel like a plastic bag, because I cannot possibly even begin to understand what is it like to be a plastic bag. Therefore, I will make a philosophical move of answering the question with rejecting the question. Yes, thank you for watching.